Alright guys, today I'm going to be reading Insomnia to you. I made this in school, so bear with me. I'm going to start my narration in 3, 2, 1. Memories fade over time. Mind has gone numb. Couldn't sleep. I haven't slept in 3 years after what happened to me. When I was little, brutal fight, traumatic experience. I cannot tell my story to others, as they will think of me as a joke. Nowadays, people stay up late with their devices in their hands. They make me feel bad. They always make me suffer. Insomnia. I can't sleep, losing my mind in the darkness of the world. Hatred and disgust overwhelms my sleepy body. My mind fueled with tiredness, pulling me down to the core of the earth. My name is Insomnia. I got that name because of my condition. This doctor knew too well about how I'm going to come out in the future. Scary it may seem, but it isn't my business to talk to him. Then, when I was 15, horrible stuff happened. I'm now haunted by ghosts that come to make my life hell. Hopefully, I can feel something good, something nice. My soul will be able to breathe. I would be free from this misery to keep me awake. But then again, my mind has no end. That's chapter 1. Chapter 2. Wandering Thoughts. It always bothers me. Walking to school at 17. Teachers have gone strict. I've fallen asleep in class too many times. They've picked on me. The peers, teachers, they hit me with rulers and sometimes scissors. The cuts I get afterwards, very painful. I wanted to end the pain, yet don't want to get hurt. My mind wanders aimlessly as my thoughts bled throughout my head. It hurts. I have these thoughts of strangling others, yet I don't want to get in trouble. The bullying was too much. Then my thoughts went too far. I grabbed up a hammer in my class. I carried them in my bag. I then destroyed everything in the classroom. Everyone looked at me. I felt this sort of rush controlling me. Teachers tackled me. I then fell asleep. All because of my wandering thoughts. Chapter 3. Broken. My body is aching, locked up in a cell. My mind, so sleepy, I can't think properly. I feel broken. My head was spinning as my body was tied up in some sort of suit. Something from an asylum. I have lost it. I screamed, banging my head on the cushion walls for an hour. Then I got tired. I stopped. I waited. Haven't slept for another month. I was now able to walk around. Other kids, they were like me, but different disabilities. One has schizophrenia, 2 had delirium, and 3 had autism. I was afraid to hurt more peers. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't hurt. I know that because my insides aren't ready to attack. I knew I was insane, but it wasn't my fault. It was never my fault. Yet again, I've done stuff that caused me to be here. Parents, they're gone. Plates shattered. Hearing this screaming. It's my mother. But where's father? Chapter 4. Planning. I knew I was insane. I wanted to get out though. I looked at my peers. Some are willing to help me. We did some planning. I walked around to find what I needed. Pain. My head. It hurts. I fell. I was too tired. I haven't slept again. It was daytime. I got up. I got the supplies for my escape. It may be a bad idea, but I hope someday my escape will not fail me. I just want to go home. I can't suffer this anymore. I got all the supplies. I started to plan my escape. I waited until it's night. I waited, and waited. Finally, night. I got my hammer and broke the camera that was looking at me. The security guards came into my cell and tried to fix the camera. I knocked them out with a hammer. Bam, bam. They fell unconscious. I exited out of my cell. I went to the room that says employees only. I entered the room, full of wires and electricity. I didn't know which to cut, so I decided to cut all of them. The alarm, so loud. I ran out of the room, doors, to freedom. I came running and escaped. The other disabled kids escaped too. They weren't as fast in escaping. All the adults took them, except me. I got free. The forest is a giant. Muddy ground soiled my feet. I don't care. I'm free. That's all that matters. Happy, my thoughts worked just like they were planned. Sorry if I messed up a bit. Father, he seemed angry. His knife raised high. Mother said no. Chapter 5. Danger. I don't like it in the forest. I felt dirty, disgusting. Yet I felt so free. I started to make myself a shelter. So much time. It took 4 hours just for a 5-minute shelter. I was just so exhausted. Water. Must drink. I went out. It's day. My eyes. The sun hurts my eyes. I knew I was lost. I tried to go back to my shelter, but my mind was too tired to remember where I was. I got afraid. I heard loud buzzing sounds. Bugs. They crawled on my legs, or so I thought. I was hallucinating. The buzzing noise, though, wasn't fake. I looked around. I saw eyes. I saw a goat skull. Was it? Was it my demon? No, it can't. I started running. I couldn't find the way out. The demon was behind me. I fell. My knee. My knee got cut open by a glass shard. The blood. The pain was unbearable. I need help. I kept limping away. It hurts. I was in danger. I yelled. I kept limping. I limped until I fell bleeding. I finally closed my eyes for a bit. I was picked up. I felt it. Then I peeked. I was taken somewhere. Somewhere I do not know. Mother fell in defeat. She was crying slowly. My father laughed. He laughed with pride. He won against my mother. I was looking down at her defeated body. She didn't look too well. Chapter 6. Abusive Abductor. I looked around. I was brought and placed in the tub. The two people, both men, they stared at me. I was afraid. They make they made me take a cold shower with my clothes on. I did so. I shivered. I was heavy with water. After I took a shower, they offered me their clothes. I wore them. They also saw my knee still bleeding. They brought me to the kitchen and stitched my knee up and wrapped it in a wrapping bandage. I thought they were nice men, and they just looked scary, but I thought wrong. I was so naive. I hate it. The men started to whip me with their belt or a wooden paddle every time I disobeyed them. I cried every hit they did to me. The pain, just like what happened to me. They have abducted me, just for their own plaything. Just to hurt. Just to torture. Just to hear screams of agony. They were abusive abductors. I always have chances to escape. Without supervision. Night. It was nighttime. They locked me in my own bedroom. It was empty. There was this specific window. I managed to make a rope out of my blanket and threw it down the window. I slowly climbed down and escaped. I went to a city that looked bright. My eyes. Mother's heart was broken. Her heart bled with Dad's knife. I wonder what will happen to him next. Chapter 7. Alleyway Mugs. I ran around, scared. I couldn't see anything. The windows were vibrant. The sidewalk lights were stunning. I went to an alleyway. It was dark and damp. It had bugs, but not harmful ones. Mice squeaking around the trash. I knew I was homeless. I need help. I need money. I need food, shelter, home. I got scared that I was starved to death, but then the trash can. The can turned into a bucket of food. My poor mind fell for the hallucination. I went to the trash and ate it, enjoying every single bite, thinking it tastes delicious. Food. But then my senses snapped. My vision turned to reality. I looked down in my hands, which was trash. I freaked and vomited. I noticed I puked on one of the alleyway mug. He looked up at me. He pulled me down off the trash can, and there was a gang. They were alleyway mugs. They started to beat me up to bruises and blood. Soon, they left, the demon staring at me. My demon moved over my father. He congratulated him. I wonder if it's father or the demon. Chapter 8. Don't let it get to you. The demon swooped me in his arms. He has cold skeletal hands. His head, shaped like a goat, as a brimstone symbol glue on his forehead. It's red. He looked at me with red glowing eyes. I got scared. Spine chilled. He carried me somewhere safe. He placed me on something that I did not see. He looked at and said to me, "Don't let it get to you, you poor being." He then disappeared. The room was dark. Then I heard a voice. No, not a voice. A scream. "Mom?" I ran upstairs. The horror, the memory came to me. It was Mom. She was getting hit. Dad, he was hurting her. I ran to him to stop, but I faced through sadness. How? How can this be possible? They both loved each other. Whatever happened? I saw my father take out a knife and broke Mom's heart with it. She fell. I suddenly fell on my knees. My mother fell in my arms, bleeding. I cried and cried. She then looked at me. She said, "You're my special child." And she closed her eyes. Father was laughing. His maniac mind. He made me get insomnia. It's his fault. Why? Why did he do this? I could have done something. Now, she's dead. Only if I knew they had a rough fight over something, then I could have done something. Oh. Fear is what we know is going to happen. Yet, we would already know. Chapter 9. Shattered. Then, memories started to collapse. Dad began to melt as Mom started to become all scary and bloody. I dropped her and backed up into a wall. She got up, her face opening to reveal a sickening skull, as she said one thing. "Reveal the truth, reveal 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 the truth," she said, constantly repeated that and ran towards me. I screamed in terror. "Mom, why is she doing this?" I ran out of the room as she chased me. Each room I went to, everything went crazy. My eyes, the room was bright. It hit my head. Said to myself, it's just a hallucination, but it didn't work. I now doubt that this is just a dream or a nightmare. Everything I experienced was just a lie. I was trapped. I stood on a mirror. Monsters started walking to me slowly. I looked down, but I couldn't take it. I finally said something that would stop everything. "Stop! I'm scared! I want my mom! My father killed her!" Then the mirror began to shake, and then the mirror shattered. I fell slowly. The monsters looked down. I then closed my eyes and waited for my death to end. "Wake up, my child. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!" Chapter 10. Not Fake. I woke up. I opened my tired eyes. Did I sleep? I looked around. Mom, she was sobbing. Quietly. I got up and hugged her. She looked at me. She stroked my head and kissed it. I also began to sob a little bit. She looked at me and told me the truth about how I was going to be born. I looked down. I told her that I knew everything. I told her what I've done, how I'd been acting, my insane adventure. She giggled. Then Mom pointed down. It was my body. I was scared. Am I dead? How did this happen? My corpse was in the hospital. Everything I just went through was real. I then cried. But then I was still alive in a way that I'm now free forever. Epilogue. Although Insomnia was in the hospital, he wasn't dead, but he is getting treated by a special drug, benzodiazepine. Benzodiazepine put Insomnia to sleep for the first time. He got close to death. The infection on his knee was too intense. The hospital had to make a painful treatments to heal his leg. Leeches helped a lot. Insomnia had a lot of hallucinations. Hallucinating was really making an impact on his sanity. He told the doctor stories about how a demon was after him and was brought to an asylum. Apparently, none of those events happened. The hospital manager called many asylums to see if insomnia was in any, but they all said they didn't. It was all in insomnia's head. The end.